I've made a lot of dumb financial decisions in my time, and this has gotta be up there. Now, I'm 22 years old, and if you haven't been able to tell by now, I have a slight addiction to cars and making horrible financial decisions. Oh. But the difference is I do YouTube and content creation as a full-time career, and that's part of my business. So buying cars and modifying them, that just makes sense. This one, however, was probably one of the dumber ideas that I've had. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know back in May of this year, I bought a car for $100, which seems like a financially genius idea. I can make content and pay for the car. May I introduce our new vehicle to the channel, the $100 2009 Nissan Xterra. This car runs and drives for $100. But the plan I had for the car was where things kind of went south. That was because I didn't necessarily have a plan for the car, I just had one mission and one mission only with it, and that requires a little bit of a backstory. So back in August of 2023, I took an enormous financial risk to fly across the country to attend a show called Monterey Car Week.
So sick. I can't believe we're actually doing this.
Did not sleep last night, dude.
I don't think any of us did, so it's
no, Jack did. Jack got 6 hours of sleep, and he's the one that's most tired of all of us. And while I was out there, I got super fortunate and met my two closest friends, Jackson and Will, who run the Captain Crankshaft channel. How are y'all?
I know who's going first.
How are you? How are you? And after getting to know them a little bit, I found out that they had just driven their Porsche 911 across the entire country. Fast forward a year later, I was invited to join them to drive across the country. Now, if you've never done that before, there is enormous risks with doing so. The most important being car troubles. Something you guys know that I'm very familiar with. And then obviously outside of that, getting lost. And number 3 loops back into car troubles with getting parts. If something major breaks down and you can't get parts for it, you're kind of screwed. But I was in for the challenge. So much so, I thought it'd be a good idea to buy a $100 car and see if it could beat a $100,000 Aston Martin that was coming along with us. Now here was the game plan. I wanted to bring challenge videos back to the channel just like the old days, and I thought this would be a perfect way to do it with a $100 car versus $100,000 car, who will make it across the country, Top Gear style. So the first thing to do was to find a car for $100, which that was surprisingly easy. And then step 2 was to fly out of my home state of Florida to pick the car up in New Jersey and drive it to my brother's house in Virginia to fix the car up and get it good and running. Only one of the wiper blades works, which is probably one of the funniest things I have ever seen in a car. As I'm filming this video, the car died. That's a problem. Come on. No power steering. Hold on. I'm in neutral. Yeah. Thank you so much. Well, you guys saw firsthand, this car just died. The gas tank was falling off, the car would randomly stall, and everything was rusted out. But we had a solution. Number 1, the car won't stay running, which we believe we have a fix for it. So we went through all of this for this one little part. I have no idea how to install this, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of Googling, so just give me a minute. So I believe the crankshaft sensor is in. See if it turns over. But after the car was all good and running, it was time to move on to step 3. And we set forth on this journey. Come on, any day now. There it goes. Now the first like 2 miles were fantastic. We stopped off for gas, we were cruising down the road, and everything was going swimmingly. So much so that I decided to shut off the GoPro to preserve the battery until I could pick up my co-driver in Northern Virginia. But just as you'd expect, the second the camera got shut off is when shit absolutely hit the fan. The car just died in probably the most dangerous spot it could have died. This is not good. This is probably one of the worst spots I could have lost the car. Come on. So we got ourselves into a little bit of a predicament right now. Thankfully, a nice state trooper stopped by to come and help us, but now we're stuck on the side of the road. We made it really far. We made it about 10 minutes down. The car will not start. This is a fantastic start to the day. I don't think I'm making it anywhere. Now on the bright side of things, I'm not gonna lose 40 brain cells from exhaust fumes, so there's There's always a positive to a negative. So after that minor disaster, we quickly tried to get it back up and running so I could make it to Boston in the next 24 hours, but unfortunately we couldn't make it happen, which made me leave Jackson and Will to do the cross-country trip without me this year. But you know what? I'm not complaining. Here's why. Because there's always a lesson to be learned in situations like this. Although this seemed like kind of an obvious one, of maybe prepare more before driving across the country. Yeah, I may have been an idiot for that, but I learned maybe I should prepare more for driving across the country. My punishment for this year was to miss out on one of the greatest car shows you can attend. But the good thing is there's always next year. Or maybe not, because there might be an announcement coming real soon.